Hello friend, welcome to my channel Clinical Biochemistry by Dr. P.K. Prabhakar. Today we are going to talk about another hormone that is called as prolactin, and it is called as milk producing hormone. In the previous video we have seen another video which was responsible for the milk secretion, fine, that is oxytocin. Today we are going to talk about prolactin. This prolactin, which is it is one of the, means you can call it oldest one hormone. So prolactin was the first discovered in 1928, but only in 1971 it was separated from the chemically which is similar to growth hormone. Later on you will see chemically, if you see the prolactin, it is structurally very similar to growth hormone. So prolactin has been separated from the growth hormone family in 1971 and purified also. This prolactin normally in case of human, it is responsible for the milk production, milk synthesis generation, whereas in case of lower animals the prolactin is responsible for electrolyte, salt and water homeostasis, water balance. So in our case, in human, the main function of prolactin is the stimulation or the production of milk, that is lactation in the woman. For this to occur, the woman must have a natural mature breast, and combined action of prolactin, estrogen, insulin, cortisols, all these hormones are together necessary for the milk production. So prolactin is the major hormone, but it also requires estrogen, insulin, cortisol for milk production. Now later on as we will go, we can see a number of things. Prolactin is secreted from one of the specific cells, that is acidophilic lactotrophs, or this cells which produces prolactin is also called as mammotrophs. So either we are going to call lactotrophs or it is called as mammotrophs, that is acidophilic cells of anterior pituitary. We have seen this is the hypothalamic region of our endocrine system. This is posterior pituitary, this is anterior pituitary, and this portion is called as, which connects hypothalamus to the pituitary, is called as infundibulum. So in the anterior pituitary we are having lactotrophs or mammotrophs, that is acidophilic nature, and this producing prolactin. If you see the chemically prolactin, it is its size will be 23,000 Dalton protein, which consists of a single polypeptide chain of 199 amino acid, and in this 199 amino acid, this is contains 3 different disulfide bonds. Later on you will see the structure also. This prolactin, once it will be secreted from the anterior pituitary gland, it is responsible not only for milk production. There are a number of functions where it is going to be involved, it is going to be responsible. Prolactin secretion is done because of or response getting from the eating, matting, estrogen treatments, ovulation or the nurturing. Later on we will see other things also. This prolactin is not a continuous secretion. Prolactin secretion occurs in the pulses, in the packets. This prolactin plays an essential role in metabolic process also, in our immune system also, and as well as in the pancreatic development also. So anterior pituitary we are having, this anterior pituitary is going to produce pre-prolactin in response to a hormone which is coming from the hypothalamus. So hypothalamus normally going to release a regulatory hormone which regulates anterior pituitary, that is we are going to call it prolactin releasing factor or prolactin releasing hormone. So hypothalamus producing this PRF or PRH, and that works on anterior pituitary. Anterior pituitary gives us pre-prolactin, and then prolactin will be produced. Some books you can see this is 198 amino acids, some books you can see 199 amino acids. So roughly it will be 198 to 199 amino acid long. This prolactin overall, if you will see the structure, so this is the rough cartoonic diagram of prolactin, which contains 199 amino acid and 3 disulfide bonds. You can see this is one disulfide bond, this is second disulfide bond, and this is third disulfide bond. So overall it is having 3 disulfide bond. This prolactin is structurally very similar to growth hormone, as I have already told you. and human chorionic somatomamotropins. Overall, prolactin has a 16% similarity with the growth hormone in amino acid sequence, but a much greater gene homology. So gene homology is more, but protein homology, if you will see, only 16% similarity is there. The prolactin gene is found on the chromosome number 6 and contains roughly 8 kilo bases, means 8000 base pairs will be there. In contrast, the growth hormone gene is found on chromosome number 17 and it contains 2500 kilo bases. So the difference is both growth hormone and prolactin, we are having different genes. Prolactin gene is present on chromosome number 6 and they will be roughly 8 kb, 8 kilo base pair. This gene, growth hormone gene, is present on chromosome number 17 and this will be roughly 2.5 kilo base pair. So more homology of prolactin with the human growth hormones. Other than this prolactin from the anterior pituitary, prolactin is also going to be released from the endometrium of the uterus as well as the placenta. So placenta we are going to call placental lactogens. So these are the different sources of prolactin in our body. So prolactin is a hormone which plays an important role in the fertility by inhibiting FSH and GnRH, the hormone that triggers the ovulation and allow egg to develop and mature. What happens whenever this prolactin, normally it is a milk product producing hormone. So after the parturition, after the baby birth, normally this prolactin is going to be released in the mother's lactating woman. So that time this prolactin normally inhibits these two hormones, FSH and GnRH. Because of these two hormones, it works on ovary and does not allow egg to be mature. So ovulation and maturation of egg is going to be inhibited because prolactin inhibits these two hormones. So when egg is not there, so fertilization will not occur even after the intercourses, or the even sperm will be there, fertilization will not occur, and that pregnancy, chances of getting pregnancy will be reduced. So normally during the first 6 months of the after the birth, the chances of pregnancy is roughly 2% less than the other women. This prolactin, also called as luteotropic hormone or luteotropins, a protein hormones produced by the pituitary gland or of mammals that acts on other hormone to initiate secretion of milk by mammary gland. So it is called as luteotropic hormone. And another thing of prolactin is, normally the maximum hormone which is going to be produced from pituitary, that works on other endocrine glands. So the hormone coming from pituitary works on the endocrine glands, but prolactin is such a hormone which is produced from the pituitary, but it does not work on any endocrine gland. It directly works on the mammary gland. So that is the differences. Now how this prolactin is going to be secreted? So pituitary prolactin secretion is under the regulation of, it is regulated by the endocrine neuron of the hypothalamus. In the most important of these are neurosecretory tuberoinfundibulum, that is in short form we are going to call TIDA neurons of the articulate nucleus that secretes dopamine. This is the prolactin inhibitory hormone. So the hypothalamus, which is having this TIDA neuron, this producing dopamine, and this dopamine is also called as prolactin inhibitory hormone. So it inhibits, it reducing the prolactin secretions. So dopamine works on D2 receptor of lactotropes and causing the inhibition of prolactin secretions. So hypothalamus normally regulates prolactin secretion from the anterior pituitary, but that is normally negative regulations. So it inhibits. Other than this one, this dopamine, thyrotropin releasing factor. Thyrotropin releasing factor or releasing hormone has a stimulatory effect on prolactin release. So this TRF or TRH increases the prolactin secretions, whereas this dopamine is going to induce the prolactin secretions. Now if you see in these pictures, so hypothalamus normally regulates this prolactin secretion from the pituitary in two different manners. One is dopaminergic neurons, that is dopamine is negatively regulates, so it works on pituitary negative regulations, and reducing the prolactin secretion from the pituitary. So this is negative regulations, which you can see here. Second one is serotonin. Not only serotonin, there are number of other factors are also there, like BIP, thyrotropin releasing hormone, GnRH, serotonin, histamines, angiotensin 2, bombacins. These are the number of factors. Then sleep, stress, food, exercise, all these factors normally works like a serotonin and induces pituitary for the secretion of the prolactin secretion. So these factors normally increase the prolactin secretions, whereas dopamine or other agonist of the dopamine along with these drugs normally reducing the prolactin secretions. This prolactin, as it is a protein, so it directly circulates in the blood without associated with any proteins. So because of that one, its half-life is only 20 minutes. That is more than sufficient for their work. So, but its half-life is 20 minutes. So these are the other factors which normally induce the prolactin secretions, like gonadotropins, VIP, TRH, serotonin, estrogen, pregnancy, and breast suckling. This prolactin lactotropes is differing from the other endocrine cells in two different ways. First, it is not part of the endocrine axis. How it is not part of the endocrine axis? Normally, how it works in endocrine axis, first we are having hypothalamus, then we are having pituitary, and then we are having other endocrine glands. Means hypothalamus producing a tropic hormones. This tropin hormone works on pituitary, pituitary producing releasing hormone, and that works on endocrine glands. In case of prolactin, hypothalamus is going to produce certain hormones that works on pituitary. Pituitary producing the prolactin. Prolactin does not works on any endocrine glands, but this pituitary directly works on non-endocrinic cells, that is primarily breast, mature breast. And there it other than this milk production in the breast, it also do some of the physiological changes. So the normal trend of hypothalamus, pituitary, endocrine, this trend, this axis is not followed by lactotropes or mammotropes. That is one difference. Second difference is the production and secretion of prolactins are predominantly under the inhibitory control of hypothalamus, which I have told you. Normally hypothalamus producing dopamines, and that dopamine PIS is prolactin inhibitory substance, that is dopamine, and that induce release means of works on this acidophilic lactotropes and reduce the production of prolactin. So negatively regulations, hypothalamus negatively regulates the prolactin secretion. This other than this dopamines, there are other ways also by which this productions will be inhibited, like this infundibulum or a stalk, pituitary stalk. If this will be disrupted, then also the dopamine or the negatively regulated substance will not reach there. In that case also we are having the prolactin secretion will go up, because the negative regulator molecules will not there. So when you don't have negative regulator, so the secretion of prolactin will go up. So like disruption of pituitary stalk or hypothalamic hypophyseal portal vessels, if these two will not works, like this blood circulation which carrying the dopamine, then prolactin secretion will works, and this prolactin normally regulates this one, so their secretion will decrease. So this is different from the other endocrine glands. Hypothalamus negatively regulates lactotropes, and lactotropes does not follow the normal hypothalamic pituitary axis. There are different pituitary stalk or hypophyseal portal vessels can be broken, can be disrupted because of number of reasons. It may be because of the surgery, it may be because of the physical trauma, it may be because of the road accident, it may be because of the sarcoidosis or hemochromatosis, that is called as because of the iron overload. Whenever our body will have too much amount of iron, and those iron is going to be deposited into certain soft tissue, that is called as hematochromatosis. So in these cases, this pituitary stalk or a hypophyseal portal vessels will be broken. So in that case, the prolactin secretion will go up. Now how this prolactin works? So because prolactin is a protein hormone, so obviously its receptor will be on the plasma membrane, it cannot directly enter into the cells. So the receptor of prolactin is a JAK-STAT system, it works through the JAK-STAT system. JAK-STAT system is Janus kinase and a stimulator STAT is a stimulator activator of the transcription. So it works through JAK-STAT system. As soon as prolactin binds this prolactin receptors, JAK is going to be activated, it will be phosphorylated, and this JAK is going to activate STAT. So STAT will after the phosphorylation it will enter into the nucleus and it is going to activate the gene expression, especially those gene expression which is normally responsible for the different kind of enzymes, enzymatic cascade or enzymes. So those gene expression will be activated because of this JAK-STAT system. So prolactin works on the nucleus and increases the transcription of certain genes. The main function of prolactin, there are two functions. One is during the pregnancy to stop the pregnancy or maintain the pregnancy, and second one is the lactation. So prolactin, the primary function is breast development and during pregnancy and during lactation, so it maintains it. Other than this one, this prolactin are very well known physiological function in female only. In male also we are having certain functions, I will come there. Gradual increase in prolactin during pregnancy along with high estrogen and progesterone level results in the full breast development, and because breast development or mature breast only can produce the milk, so that is one of the important part. The main function of prolactin are listed below. So first function is it initiates the milk production by the alveolar cells of the mammary gland, that is called a lactogenic function, milk production. Second one is it maintains the milk production once it has been established, that is galactopoietic effect. So this lactogenic and galactopoietic effect are the main function of the prolactin. The third function, that is called as proliferation of alveolar and the duct cells, that is called as mammogenic effect. So prolactin is normally responsible mainly for lactogenic and galactopoietic. This mammogenic effect is under the control of oxytocin main. So if you can see here, this mammary gland is primed by the estrogen and progesterone, and once it will be formed, the myoepithelial cells of the mammary gland going to produce milk, and this milk will be coming through the after the so milk production is done by prolactin, and once milk production will be there, then oxytocin induces this milk to release through this lactiferous sinuses and lactiferous duct through the nipple. So production will be due to prolactin and the release will be because of the oxytocin. The cells which producing this one is lacto-ovulous epithelial cells, and the proliferation of these cells is done by prolactin. Then milk does not only contains galactose, it also contains some number of proteins. One of the two important proteins are the casein and the lactalbumin. So prolactin also inducing the expression of these two proteins, so increasing the messenger RNA level and the production of casein and lactalbumin, that is also done by prolactin. This prolactin, how it is going to be work and how it is going to be released. So there are number of mechanoreceptor is present in the nipple. So these mechanoreceptors of the nipple normally going to start neural efferent neuron sensation, and that sensation will go to hypothalamus. Hypothalamus normally going to release prolactin releasing hormone releasing factors that released through this neurohypophyseal system. It will come to the anterior pituitary and works on anterior pituitary and then producing prolactin hormone. This prolactin works out the mammary glands, and then through blood circulation it goes to the mammary gland, and there it works on the milk production, galactokinesis and galactopoiesis, lactogenesis. This prolactin also, we already knowing that it is going to reduce the activity of GnRH, FSH and LH, because it is going to inhibit it is going to reduce the level of GnRH, FSH and LH, so it inhibits the maturation of ovum. So from ovary does not allow egg to fertilize, egg to mature. So ovulation is going to be stopped if prolactin will be there. So especially in the lactating women, because their prolactin level will be very high, their ovulation will not take place because of this prolactin. Not only this one, this prolactin also blocks the folliculogenesis process. So this is the normal process of the menstrual cycles, where primordial follicle is going to mature into primary follicle, primary to secondary, secondary to early ancestral follicle, mature follicle, and then ovulation will be there. So this complete process will be blocked, stopped by prolactin. So follicle is not going to form, and follicle is not going to form means it is not available for the fertilization. So this ultimately leads to a condition called as amenorrhea. So this amenorrhea, which is caused because of prolactin, is called as lactational amenorrhea. So especially in the lactating women, we are going to have a condition that is called as lactational amenorrhea. Other than this one, in mammal, I have already told you, in our case or in mammals, prolactin is responsible for milk production. In fish or in lower animals, it is responsible for the water, salt and electrolyte balance. Prolactin also works like a cytokine manner, cytokine like effect it will have for interleukins production and cytokines production, and so it is responsible, it is going to regulate, works as a regulator of our immune system also. This prolactin is important cell cycle related functions as a growth factor or differentiating factor or anti-apoptotic factor on the cells. As a growth factor, it binds with the cytokine-like receptor and influences hematopoiesis and angiogenesis, new blood cell formation as well as new blood vessel formations. It also involved in the regulation of blood clotting through many pathways. The hormone, prolactin hormone, acts on endocrine, autocrine and paracrine manner through prolactin receptor present on the numerous cytokine receptors. Then this prolactin is also present in different forms. So a structure of prolactin is similar to that of growth hormone and placental lactogens. The molecule is folded due to the activity of 3-disulfide bond, as you have already seen it. There we are having a significant heterogeneity of the molecule has been described. Thus bioassay and immunoassay can give different result due to different type of chemical modification of the proteins. So growth hormone will have different modification, placental lactogens will have different modification, and prolactin will have different kind of modifications. These modifications may be glycosylations, phosphorylation, sulfation or degradation. So because of this one, these proteins normally gives you different kind of bioassay or immunoassay. Non-glycosylated forms of prolactin is the dominant form that is secreted by the pituitary glands. There are 3 different forms depending on the size, that is little prolactin, which size will be 22 kilodalton and 198 amino acid, and that is the main hormone and it is most active hormone. Second one is big prolactin, which is roughly double than the primary little hormone prolactin. It is roughly 48 kilodalton and it will have very less or minor biological activity. And the third one is the big prolactin, which is roughly 150 kilodalton and it is almost nil or lowest biological activity it will have. Normal serum level of prolactin in case of female is 1.9 to 25 nanogram per ml, whereas in case of male it will be 2.5 to 17 nanogram per ml. Now this prolactin is going to be sometime going to be increased level. So it can reach up to 30 to 200 nanogram per ml prolactin can occurs, and this occurs in certain specific conditions, like it can occur during the pregnancy, postpartum periods, in case of liver failure, renal failure, hypothyroidism, stress or prolactinoma, cancer of the prolactin producing cells, or certain medications like dopamine agonist or some other medicines. In case of men, this prolactin decreasing the luteinizing hormone LH, luteinizing hormone decreasing the testosterone. If we are having more than the normal prolactin, then I am talking about high amount of prolactin decreasing a luteinizing hormone, it will decrease the testosterone, and testosterone normally going to reduce the spermatogenesis process, as well as loss of libido will be there. So this is in case of men. How this prolactin hormone will be regulated? You have already seen there are two different factors we are having for inhibitions as well as the secretions. Inhibitions will be mainly done by dopamine through the dopaminergic tract, so which is produced by the arcuate nucleus, and this dopaminergic normally works as the inhibitor. Similarly, we are having activator also, which normally producing the prolactin releasing factors. This prolactin releasing factor increase the secretions, and dopaminergic normally inhibit the secretions. So this is their regulations. Other than this one, there are number of other factors also, like GnRH, hormones of GnRH or TRH, that is also going to stimulate prolactin secretions. Then some other situations like surgery, fear, exercise, or stimuli causing aerosols, this also normally going to affect the prolactin secretions. Similar to the growth hormone, prolactin secretion is very high during the sleep conditions. So sleeping condition is going to increase the prolactin secretions, but the normal pattern of the prolactin secretion is different during the sleeping than the growth hormone. So there are certain medicines also, certain chemicals also, which normally going to reduce the prolactin secretions. So drug which interfere with the synthesis and action of dopamine increases prolactin secretions. Many commonly prescribed antihypertensive drugs or tricyclic antidepressant are dopamine inhibitors. So when dopamine will be inhibited, so it is not able to inhibit the prolactin release, so prolactin level will go high. Bromocriptine is a dopamine agonist that can be used to inhibit prolactin secretion. Somatostatin, TSH, growth hormone also inhibit the prolactin secretions. So these are all these factors which you are going to see here. This is normally the stimulator of prolactin secretions, like sleep, nurturing or nursing the baby, breast stimulation in case of non-lactating women, external exercise, sexual intercourse, hypoglycemia, stress, stimulation of nipple, pregnancy, estrogens, some chemicals which is dopamine inhibitors, vasoactive intestinal peptides, TRH, and hypothyroidism. These are normally going to inhibit the prolactin secretions. There are number of factors which normally inhibit the prolactin secretions, like dopamine or D2 receptor agonists, L-dopa, apomorphine, bromocriptine and related ergot derivatives, glucocorticoids, and thyroid hormones. These are inhibitors of prolactin secretion. So in these conditions, prolactin secretion will be reduced. The basic difference between the oxytocin and prolactin is oxytocin can release the milk, but it cannot produce the milk. Similarly, prolactin can produce the milk, it can make milk, but it is not able to release the milk. So the basic difference is oxytocin is a milk releasing hormone, prolactin is a milk producing hormone. Then last portion is placental prolactin or placental lactogens. This is also called as chorionic somatomamotropins. It is a polypeptide hormone and part of the somatotropin family. And this hormone is structurally very similar to the growth hormone. It modifies the metabolic state of mother during the pregnancy to facilitate the energy supply to the fetus. This has two different type of functions. One of the important function is this is anti-insulin properties. So it works against the insulin. Placental lactogen 1 and 2 were identified as prolactin-like molecules that can bind to prolactin receptor with high affinity and mimic the action of prolactin. These hormones can contribute to the lactogenesis, luteal maintenance, and the progesterone producing, especially in case of rat. Placental lactogen 1 may be important in stimulating mammary cell proliferations and is stimulating some of the adaptation of the maternal lipid and carbohydrate metabolic processes. If you will see the human placental lactogens, which is having 191 amino acid and 2 double disulfide bonds, it's roughly 22.125 kilodalton, and it is also contains single disulfide bond. This human placental lactogen half life is roughly 15 minutes. And if you see that its function, human placental lactogens have metabolic functions like it decreases the maternal insulin sensitivity, as it is anti-insulin properties, so it is decreasing the insulin sensitivity. So it normally is going to induce the gestational diabetes mellitus. So it increases the maternal blood glucose level, and you can call it gestational diabetes mellitus type of activity things. It also reducing the maternal glucose utilizations, which helps ensures adequate fetal nutrition. Then it increases the lipolysis with the release of free fatty acids. Other than this one, this also have growth factor, growth hormone like activity. So this human placental lactogens have weak actions similar to those of hormones, causing the protein synthesis in the tissue. But 100 times more HPL placental lactogens than growth hormone is required for promote growth. So activity wise, lactogen is very less active. So we require 100 times more lactogen to give you similar kind of effect as growth hormone is going to give you. But in our blood we are having only 50 times more placental lactogens. So it is not sufficient to induce the sufficient growth, but it has some activity on the protein synthesis. So that's why we can call it is having growth hormone like activity. So this is roughly all about the prolactin hormones, either human placental lactogens or the normal prolactin, how it works and what is its mechanism of action, what is its effect, how it works for the milk productions. So hope you will like the video. If you have not subscribed my channel, you can subscribe it. If you like the video, press the like button, press the bell button. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.